بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
This is a side issue that one of the brothers brought to my attention. Okay, I think it's 252. Labas. Brother brought to my attention the fact that some of our brothers, Salafis, who are attending lessons and reading the literature that is supposed to be read, inshallah, that some of them somehow showed or displayed a happiness at the beheading of the particular kafir that was beheaded, and in this regard clapping their hands and being happy about it. Now, we don't have to spend a lot of time on this right now because we have a dars, and maybe at some point in time we may have a dars that's specifically directed towards dealing with this type of foolishness. But suffice it to say, without going into a lot of detail, this is a quote from Shaykh Abdul Muhsin Ubaykan. I don't think it's even needed. And we've explained it over 1,000 or hundreds or several times, put it that way. The issue of the musta'man and the mu'ahad. The musta'man and the mu'ahad. Musta'man and the mu'ahad are two types of kuffar that enter the Muslim land, and they are allowed to go about with their particular business, and they're not to be accosted or harassed, let alone physically beaten, let alone killed. To such a degree that there are hadith that indicate that the person that does that to a musta'min or mu'ahid, that he won't smell the fragrance of Jannah. That he will not smell the fragrance of Jannah. And killing in itself is something that is forbidden unless specifically legislated or allowed by the Sharia. It is a matter that is up to the Sharia to grant. But in general, it is something that is forbidden, that a person kills another person or takes the life of another person. So I am amazed that anyone would, except the most ignorant of persons, would find this something to laugh about or to be happy about. Then the statement was made, well, they killed Muslim women and children. Well, this goes to an ayah, and no soul will be burdened with a burden of another soul. This particular person, Paul Johnson, this particular one that was before him, and this one, how do you know that they had any connection to the killing of Muslim women or Muslim children? Is this going to be a side general statement that you make to allow for the position that you hold that is not in accordance with Kitab or Sunnah? This sounds like somebody who hasn't studied the Book of Allah, or if they have, it hasn't went into their hearts, and they haven't studied the Sunnah of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Or if they have, it has not affected their hearts, because they ar-Rahmaan, we are ar-Rahmaan. You know, subhanallah. It's astonishing that you have to remind people about narrations about this ummah. This ummah was taught by its Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam not to kill an animal. Now we're not talking about a human being now. Not to kill an animal. And a woman entered the hellfire for a cat. She took the cat, tied the cat up, would not release the cat to allow the cat to eat. The cat died. She goes to hellfire, or went to hellfire. She's a person of hellfire for a cat. The Ummah that understands that we go to Jannah for a dog. Prostitute, baghi, a woman selling her body. Mratan baghi, selling her body. That's all she did. That was her income. That was her livelihood. Yet she saw a dog thirsty. She gave him some water from her shoe. And Allah forgave her and she entered Jannah. So this matter of mercy to animals is part of our deen. So what about a human being, an individual a person, has done nothing? Musta'min or mu'ahad. Mu'ahad is those who come in for various agreements. They are not to be touched. They are to come in. Maybe he's worked for Coca-Cola. Maybe he worked for Lockheed. Maybe he worked for this one or that one. He's not to be bothered. He's permitted by those who know more about Sharia than us. He's permitted by the Hukuma, the government. He's permitted by Walat al-Amr to come in and take care of his business, however long that might take. He lives there, he eats there, he takes care of his business. He's not to be harassed. He's not to be accosted. He's not to be done any type of physical harm whatsoever, let alone killed. Taking somebody's safety away from them, let alone killed. So this is something that must be understood and known and applied regarding this issue. Islam don't allow you to kill whoever you want to kill. Your attitude, some type of Wild Wild West mentality. Anybody, take anybody out. Who are you? What are you? That type of mentality. That's Salafi? That's Salafi? Whack 'em. Whack you. What you doing? What? No, the Sharia has principles that it has taught us. It has manners and behaviors that we have to be aware of. So then the Musta'min is the one who the Muslims might be at war. They're at war with one another. Yet there is a break or truce in that. And in that time, when that's that break or truce, he's allowed to come in. And you can't touch him. So you see the foolishness of this person who said, they're killing Muslim women and children. We at war. And in the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, there has been times when they've been at war. And they allow the warring party, have a truce with him, have a break. Have a break in hostilities, he's allowed to come in. You know more about the deen of Allah, or Muhammad ﷺ know more about the deen of Allah? Make a truce with somebody. Yeah, they killed his Uncle Abbas, and they did this, and they did that. They killed Hamza, or they killed Hamza, and this one and that one, so on and so forth. But once a truce is made, that person can't be what? Can't be touched, So this thing about they killed this and that don't even make any sense. Nobody of any intelligence will say something that's stupid. It's insane. You're not understanding the principles. You're not understanding the principles. You're making a claim to Salafiyyah, but you're not understanding the principles of Salafiyyah. You connected yourself to the hype, but you're not connected to the reality. Don't know who you can fight and when you can fight, who can be killed and who can't be killed. You mean you gonna let these takfiris take you in like that? You smiling and laughing when they do what they do? Why, fool, don't you know they coming for you next? But when it gets to a point where individuals right to live and exist is violated, and they walk all over all types of verses of the Quran and walk all over all types of hadith to do it, then you'll be next. They'll be saying, you're not a believer for real. Come in, let's slash his throat. They're already looking at these takfiris, got people already looking at anybody who speaks English like he's out of it. Some of the brothers living in America now say that you say something in English, everybody looking at you crazy. You gotta whisper it, or you're gonna get snatched. Meanwhile, you got a fool over here laughing about it. You think that's victory to the Muslims? There ain't no victory to the Muslims. Victory to the Muslims comes when they apply Kitab and Sunnah ala Fahm as-Salaf Salih. Victory to the Muslims comes when it's based upon the principles that have been laid out. Killing of this kafir incorrectly and wrongly, which brings the individual who does it not able to smell the fragrance of paradise. For killing a kafir, yes. And the Prophet will be far away from him on Qiyamah, having nothing to do with him. Why? Because he killed this person who was musta'min or mu'ahid. These are issues we're supposed to know. Now if you don't know, you can ask. But don't be walking around here in a state of farha, rejoicing and all this for something you should be crying about and shaking your head about. And if you had any type of wisdom with you whatsoever, you understand that's going to bring harm upon the Muslims in the long range. It's going to bring harm among the Muslims. How will you look at people who use a dull knife to cut somebody's head off? How would you start if you knew that there was people in your neighborhood who was into that type of program? Person down away from you, 2 doors. Well, he like to cut heads off. How you gonna look at him? It's gonna be your approach. You know how you gonna feel about that. So let them people start seeing that rather than seeing us. That when they look at us, they see that. And see how they're going to deal with us. Oh, they go headhunter. He's one of them. These are the types of people of foolishness that make it impossible for an individual to come out of his house with a kufi on. Make it impossible for an individual to wear a lihya. Make it impossible for an individual to have a thobe on without being harassed. Our sisters can't go nowhere. And you laughing about it? Why, you out your mind. So, inshallah ta'ala, that was just a piece devoted to that, and we'll get on to Aqeedatul Wasitiyyah bi-idhnillahi ta'ala.